Alright. First, I'd like to give a shout out to Daniel Duran for picking such a nice and easy topic for his I'm just kidding, it was extremely difficult. Here's a statistical analysis of how many people believe that outsourcing is bad for the economy in the United States. The American people already know that unfettered free trade costs jobs and is bad for our economy. In the September 2010 NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, 69% of Americans believe that free trade between the United States and other countries costs the United States jobs. 53% of the Americans believe that free trade agreements have hurt the U.S., up to 30% in 1999. Only 17% of the American people believe that free trade agreements have benefited the United States. You have turned me into the minority 17%. So a couple of weeks ago, Daniel Duran attempted to prove that manufacturing outsourcing is bad for the economy in the United States. Little does she know that manufacturing outsourcing is good for the economy in the United States. I will use her first secondary point, which is outsourcing labor, that a company is avoiding free labor practice, to support my claim that outsourcing will lead to an increase in demand. Secondly, outsourcing is good for the economy in the United States because it keeps certain outsourced desired products affordable to us. Third, outsourcing improves both American and foreign industries. So, for my first one. Her claim that outsourcing labor means that a company is avoiding free labor practice is true, but there are many true facts about outsourcing labor that does not include a bad impression. X can mean Y, but X can also mean A, B, and C. According to outsourcingoffshore.us, the reason why people outsource are not only because of reduction of costs, but streamlining business processes, which means the organization can be more efficient by employing faster and using simpler working methods and ease of operation. If a company stayed on U.S. soil where products cost higher to produce, the company has to mark up the prices up higher as well to break even and or make profit. Because companies do not have to worry about workers' compensation, insurance, and wage regulations in other countries as much as in the United States, it leads to a lower cost of production. If it is cheaper to make a product, the price will be lower to buy it. So basically, no, this is supply. Demand. So when the cost is lower, this is cost. When the cost is lower, the demand is higher. So yeah, pretty much point. Anyways, 2 minutes. In a special report, Where is the Jobs? It states that economic growth is very strong, but America isn't generating enough jobs. Many blame outsourcing. The truth is a lot more complicated. We know too that outsourcing isn't altogether a bad thing. In the 90s, high-tech companies farmed out the manufacture of memory chips, computer, and telecom equipment to Asia. This lowered the cost of tech gear, raising demand and spreading the IT revolution. The same will probably happen with software. Outsourcing will cut prices and make the next generation of IT cheaper and more available. This will generate greater productivity and growth. In fact, as venture capitalists increasingly insist that all IT startups have an offshore component, the cost of innovation should fall sharply, perhaps by half. Secondly, outsourcing is good for the economy in the United States because it keeps certain outsourced desired products affordable to us to buy. Does anyone have an iPad in here?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, Thomas, in the article, how much would the iPad 2 cost if it were made in the U.S.? By Thompson Derek. Apple has contracted to make its iPad 2 in China, where the typical worker makes a hearty $185 a week. What if, in a fever on economic patriotism, Apple chooses to make its iPad in the U.S.? Assuming typical U.S. manufacturers work at the same speed as the Chinese, and assuming Apple raised the price to maintain its profit margin, the iPad 2 would cost more than $1,100. Later, the article states that iPad is worth $292.77 when made in China. So is outsourcing good?
Yeah.
Obviously, okay. Let me see. For my third claim, outsourcing improves both American and foreign industries. American industries can produce more for less, which allows them to invest more in capital. This will inevitably help them grow and hire more workers. However, the new jobs will simply be different from the jobs that were lost to outsourcing, like a company may give up manufacturing to a firm in China, but then hire more people in the customer support and public relations department. Outsourced jobs help foreign industries grow too, since they are basically exporting a service. When foreign industries grow, it's also likely that they'll outsource jobs to places like the USA for things they aren't specialized in. Like the US might outsource customer support to Indian companies, but then once the Indian companies grow, they'll outsource research and development of the products to the US. Thank you.
All right, well, I like the joke at the beginning. The whole first section seems like either it's a recap of what the advocate's argument was, or it's additional information supporting the advocate's original position. I think one of the questions that comes up is, are a public opinion on a subject like this relevant to whether or not it is true that it has a harmful effect? You ultimately do take a counterclaim position on most of the arguments, and their first two arguments, you make them sound like they're separate, but they both basically say that they make products more affordable for different reasons on the first point and on the second point, but that seems to be the ultimate benefit. There's not really much analysis of the advocate's claims on these particular points, so it's hard to tell exactly how much the counterclaim really responds to all of those issues. I think you develop your counterclaims very well, and you've got some good evidence on it. I thought especially on that second point, the cost comparison on the iPad 2, if it was produced in the United States, was pretty effective at showing us what the benefit is to us in the long run. I think there could be some follow-up on that. What's the benefit of us having iPads that cost $300 less as a consequence? I mean, that more people have them, and if more people have iPads, for instance, there might be more creativity or productivity in other areas. That seems to link into the thing that you're talking about. Turning around and drawing the supply-demand thing on the board didn't help you one iota, so I think that was kind of a waste of your energy there. The third point's mostly in overtime, and I like that. That's the point that we were talking about. In other words, we're going to get some other benefits here, like things are going to be outsourced back to us in the long run. I think that's a good idea, plus especially things like research and development, which is maybe what we would be able to do more of if we weren't spending all of our time and energy on manufacturing things that we're not all that good at manufacturing. Okay, thank you.